Good morning, I'm Larry Steinhouse, and welcome to Money Chat Now. Money Chat Now is a politically charged stock market pre-show, giving you all the politics behind the biggest moves in the stock market. It is presented with comedic common sense by an expert in financial literacy, and hey, that's me, Larry Steinhouse. Today is Tuesday, January 24th, and of course I want to welcome you to the show. We are here live on WWDB Radio in Philadelphia, and we are live on Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and YouTube. By the way, my Twitter handle is @LarrySteinhouse, and you can find me on Facebook, TikTok, and other social media by searching Larry Steinhouse. And of course, just a reminder, if you're watching the show, hit that like button, hit that share button, and don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and like the Money Chat Now page on Facebook. And of course, you can comment live on the show on YouTube and Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter. And please say hi like Jane did. Good morning, Jane. Thanks so much for watching. I totally appreciate it. Money Chat Now is brought to you by Investor Schooling, and you can attend a complimentary class this Thursday by going to investorschooling.com. And there you will learn about real estate investing and stock options trading from those who do it every day. Hey, by the way, if you are around this Wednesday, you can actually meet me in Doylestown. I will be holding an event in Doylestown at 7 o'clock in Doylestown at a little restaurant called Chambers 19. A bunch of us are going to get together discussing real estate, discussing stock options, and just having fun. Hey, I want to say hello to Lewis and Bill. Hey, I'm hoping you guys will show up also in Doylestown at Chambers 19. It'll be a good time. All right, so on today's show, we're going to be discussing, of course, the futures update. The wild ride yesterday. Wow. We're going to be talking about Biden's blunder, Google tracking you, 5G and Airlines, IBM's earnings, and Cincinnati buying homes. Hey, I want to say hello to Mick out there too, and there's somebody else out there. I don't know who it is. I think it's Mike. For some reason, it comes across without his name. All right. Hey, I got to tell you, yesterday, I am sure glad my office is on the first floor. This is a market that makes you want to jump out of windows. Man, the market was the worst I've ever seen since the scamdemic fears in the beginning of March 2020. The NASDAQ at one point was actually down 700 points. Holy cow, that's like incredibly frightening. The Dow was down 1,100, and the S&P at that one point was down 150. This is the stuff that makes you want to vomit when you see your account go down, especially after a week like last week. And then, of course, it all reversed with the Dow closing up about 100 points. It was the craziest day I remember. I mean, one of the biggest things that scares me, honestly, is that the charts are all showing bottom breakthroughs. And that means that the market may be on a free fall for a while until it resets. The predictions are all negative as we enter the middle of earnings season. Well, it's so bad. I basically, as you know, I predicted it was going to happen. Unfortunately, I predicted it in February, not January. And I'm going to tell you, this took me by surprise. And unfortunately, like some of you guys, I'm suffering for it. There are bargains out there, and you should be buying them. Look for stocks right now that have a history, of rebounding, such as airline stocks and entertainment stocks. I'm also predicting the housing market is going to start a decline after this spring. Look for it to turn to a buyer's market within 12 months, and I'm telling you, the economy is on the edge, and it will soon turn. A bear market is probably upon us, and although the country will blame President Braindead for this, I got to be honest, it's kind of not his fault. Honestly, it was just due. No matter how much I can't stand the guy. All right. After all, you got to remember, trees don't grow to the moon. They don't grow to the sky, right? And now I will say that the oil price problem is going to be the number one problem coming up, and that is 100% his fault. And soon he will have so much pressure on him to open a pipeline that I bet you he changes his mind. CNN will even make him the hero. They'll actually say, well, President Biden opened a pipeline so that there are lower gas prices. I mean, seriously? But anyway, even though he's actually going to be solving the problem that he actually created. War is also on the horizon, and it's inevitable that Russia will invade Ukraine. The United States is going to do nothing about it, and neither will the UK. Germany has their hands tied as Russia supplies most of the oil to Germany, so they're not going to do anything either. So just remember, soon it will be the USSR again. Just like yesterday, the futures had a wild ride last night. And at one point, the Dow futures were down 350 points. Now, currently, the Dow is still down. The futures are still down 250. The S&P is down 61, and the NASDAQ is down 291. And I'm surprised. I actually expect it to be a good day. We're going to see. Hey, I want to say hello to Robert and Tom. Thanks so much for watching. And all right, here we go. So let's talk about President Poopy Pants making life so easy for me sometimes. I mean, he actually writes my material for me sometimes. It's amazing. So yesterday, a reporter, Peter Ducey, who works for Fox, basically asked President Braindead a simple question. A question that is really on the mind of not only everyone else, but especially Democrats, actually. During a press conference about inflation, most of the reporters were discussing the Ukraine and ignoring the topic of inflation. After a while, Peter Ducey shouted, "Hey, will you take questions about inflation? Do you think inflation is a political liability ahead of the midterms?" I gotta be honest, this question was a question that's on topic and frankly an interesting one. So instead of Braindead either just ignoring him or even answering the question, Braindead says, "Now, that's a great asset, more inflation." And he added, "What a stupid son of a bitch." He actually said that on air in front of a live microphone. This is our great leader speaking here. That's right. Imagine a reporter asking a question about inflation during a press conference about inflation and being berated by the president for doing so. On top of that, can you imagine Braindead actually calling someone a stupid son of a bitch? I'm not exactly saying that as a president, he shouldn't call someone a stupid son of a bitch. I'm merely pointing out that as a stupid son of a bitch, he really shouldn't say it to others. Well, I'm sure Fox and other news outlets are going to be having a blast with this one. It's all over the news already. I listened to it this morning. But I wish I could be at press conferences. And let's think, what questions might I ask? Oh, I got a good one. "Hey, Mr. President, what do you wear to press conferences?" And he would, of course, answer, "Depends." What questions would you like to ask the president? Put them in comments, and I will read them to the listening audience in a few minutes. So you guys put questions that you would ask the president in the comments, and I'll ask them live. I think this is absolutely hysterical. Hey, Mike, thanks for watching. Hey, Bill, thanks for watching. I totally appreciate you guys. Don't forget to put questions in the comments that you should ask the president. I think this is hysterical. All right, let's talk a little bit about Google and tracking. Oh, boy. Do you guys remember the song? "I always feel like somebody's watching me." Now, I got to tell you, I am the worst singer, and I love it when I have to sing on the air because it reminds me of why I speak and don't sing. All right, so this was a song about paranoia and the fear that someone was always watching me. Well, in this brave new "we know everything about you" world, somebody is always watching you. So we know that Apple iPhone have allowed you to turn off tracking for some apps in an effort to stop the tracking. The concept of tracking makes a lot of sense to advertisers, I gotta be honest. It's actually a really cool idea. I remember going into a mall and getting several alerts that a store near me was having a sale, and I was texted a coupon for maybe a percentage off or something. Well, many people find it creepy to be tracked, and some people feel it's an invasion of privacy. Well, personally, I don't really care. But the next time there's an insurrection planned, I will definitely leave my cell phone home, just in case. So recently, Google got themselves in trouble when Google deceived, imagine Google deceiving people. They deceived consumers by recording their location even after users tried to turn off the company's tracking on their smartphones and web browsers. According to lawsuits filed against Google, actually Alphabet, Google falsely told customers that if they opted out of collection of their location history or other settings, Google wouldn't store the places they went. Well, in reality, regardless of the settings they select, consumers who use Google products will have no option but to allow the company to collect, store, and use their location, the suit says. Simply put, even when a user's mobile device is set to deny Google access to location data, the company finds a way to continue to ascertain the user's information, or the user's location. Of course, Google is denying the allocations. "We didn't do that. We would never do that." In an interesting turn, an internal company document being used against the company, which includes one which a Google employee allegedly says that the user interface for the Google account setting feels like it's designed to make things possible, yet difficult enough that people won't even be able to figure it out. So now, because of this, federal regulators are going to get involved and make it so that people can opt out. The funny part about it is that when government wants to track someone, they'll probably be able to use the hidden tracking functions anyway. Listen, practice telling the government that you lost your phone in case you've been accused of being somewhere that you don't want people to know you were. Or maybe it's just time to buy a burner phone for those days. So either way, someone is always watching you. So I'm going to tell you, behave. My goodness. All right, we got somebody on YouTube. I guess it's spamming us, but I'm not really sure. But it's a Russian name, so I'm going to say hi. All right, let's talk about 5G. Hey, did you look at your iPhone today, lately? If you have a 5G model, the 5G indicator has been lit up, and you are on the fastest internet service of the century. Well, 5G has actually been the root of many conspiracy theories. This is true. Look it up online. There are so many conspiracy theories around, around 5G that it actually makes me laugh. So one conspiracy theory is that once it's turned on, it will activate the nanobot that was injected into your body when you got the vaccine. All right, another one is that it causes brain tumors. Oh, by the way, I wonder if Joe Biden has a test 5G phone for the last couple of years. It would probably explain a lot. Of course, the last theory is that 5G will interfere with airplane instruments and cause them to crash. It's such a concern that major airports have asked the cell phone carriers to delay turning on the towers so the airlines can test this further. Now, I'm going to tell you, this gets even more troublesome when you hear that Japan Airlines, all of the Nippon Airways, and Emirates Airlines said Tuesday that some flights to the U.S. will be suspended because of the fear of interference from 5G. Boeing notified Japan Airlines that 5G signals for U.S. mobile phones may interfere with the radio wave altimeter installed in the Boeing 777. Wow. The airline basically said this, and they're warning them. By the way, the altimeter, wow. Did you ever see the second Die Hard movie when they programmed the computer to show the ground being about a mile lower than it really was, and the plane crashed into the ground because of it? That's what I thought of when I read the news on this. I got to be honest, too. I'm really confused by the news of this problem. It almost makes me think that a conspiracy theory to keep cell phones off of planes to help people from making, videos of unruly passengers or flight staff is really what's going on. Anyway, you would think the problem would be an easy one to test. I mean, couldn't the 5G network be turned on at a test area with a plane on the ground while they check the altimeter? Did anyone think of, maybe the ramifications of 5G and the possibilities of this problem? I have so many unanswered questions. I'm warning your plane manufacturers like Boeing are putting this in their excuse bag for when a plane crashes in the near future as an excuse. I really don't know, but it's a head scratcher to me. Hey, let's take a break. I'll see you guys in a minute. Don't forget to put in the question that you would ask President Biden in the chat box. Something like, hey, if Russia invades Ukraine, does Hunter Biden lose his $1 million a year job? We'll see you in a couple of minutes.
Okay, so you've thought about investing in real estate, houses, apartment buildings, properties, but don't really know where to start? Well, what if you could very easily learn how to gain strategies to use other people's money to buy and sell houses in the Philadelphia area? If you could learn and network with successful area real estate investors and how to produce monthly income on rental properties without headaches, that place is Investor Schooling. With Investor Schooling, you'll learn from two Philadelphia area rockstar real estate investors, Phil Falcone and Larry Steinhouse, about how to buy and sell properties the easy way and teach you basic and advanced techniques to help you make money in real estate. You can attend Investor Schooling in person or online visual classes 8 times a month. You can and will learn how to make money in real estate. Call for free information and get a complimentary pass to one of these classes. But don't delay, as these complimentary passes are limited. Call the number on your screen now or visit investorschooling.com. investorschooling.com.
All right, welcome back to Money Chat Now. I'm your host, Larry Steinhouse. And of course, if you'd like more information on Investor Schooling, you can go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829. 866-424-2829. Hey, I want to thank you all for listening on WWDB Radio in Philadelphia. And if you're watching online, please hit that share button so you can help your friends learn about how to make more money. Hit that like button and let me know you're enjoying the show. And of course, you can leave comments on Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and YouTube, and I'll try to respond to them. So a couple of questions people are asking that the president should be asked. One is, Mr. President, why do you lie and say voters are being suppressed when you know that's not the case? Yeah, the only voters being suppressed are the ones who are actually voting. All right, the next one is, Mr. President, if the media treated you like they treated Trump, do you think your approval rating would now be maybe, below 10? Unbelievable. Oh, here's another one. Mr. President, do you have any plans for picking up all the equipment and people you left in Afghanistan? Wow. Could you imagine us being reporters? He would cry. All right, so far we've been discussing the futures update, and right now the futures are still ugly, minus 257. The S&P is down almost 62, and the NASDAQ is down almost 300. What's going on? Holy cow. We talked about Biden blunders and some of the questions that we should be asking him. We talked about Google tracking, 5G, and coming up, we're going to be talking about IBM owning earnings and Cincinnati buying homes. That's an interesting story, actually. And of course, today's picks and plays. But don't forget to hit that share button. Don't forget to hit that like button. And don't forget to leave comments. And if you're listening on WWDB radio, hit that preset and make sure that you save this channel and listen every day at 7:30. All right, let's get into the second half. So IBM it was weird. It had some really good earnings this morning. And a couple other people actually reported earnings. They came through this morning, but it's really not moving. But here's how the company did. The earnings on IBM were $3.35 a share versus $3.30 per share. The revenue was $16.5 billion versus $15.96 billion, and the net income in the fourth quarter jumped 72% from a year ago, which is amazing, right? To $2.33 billion increase, while gross margins narrowed to 56.9% from 58.9%. These are incredible numbers. Look, I'm going to tell you, it's been good for profits and acquisitions, and all the profits and acquisitions boosted the bottom line for the company. The stock rose 3% after hours, and I'm curious to see what it's doing right now. Let's see. Right now, IBM is still up about 1%, so it's not bad. All right, finally, I got to tell you, it's good news for the earnings front, hopefully. It may be, if we're lucky, it may be the start of the earnings season turnaround. And look, we have earnings that are less remarkable, that are really terrible this season, and it's part of the market craziness. I'm looking forward to more reports this week, and hopefully when it gets some kind of boost, because it is terrible. I can't believe it. All right, so let's talk about Cincinnati buying up homes, because this is definitely an interesting topic. So once again, we have the government interfering with the normal flow of capitalism. It appears that a Cincinnati government entity is outbidding more than a dozen investment firms to buy 194 homes in and around the city. Listen, they actually spent almost $15 million on these homes, and they intend to keep them as rentals. And the future plans will be to renovate them and then sell them in special programs to poor and lower middle class people. Look, as always, the road to hell is paved in good intentions. Listen to this communist statement. We plan to sell them at a price as low as possible as we can, said Laura Bruner, the Port Authority's chief executive officer. We plan to sell them as a low price as we can. Or in other words, we plan to lower property values in the neighborhood so we can screw all the investors and homeowners. Many of them are like you and me, and we can't get any profits now because these people are doing that. Unbelievable, right? So Cincinnati basically has a plan to keep homes away from investors, and this plan is part of it. Hello, dum-dums in Cincinnati. If you let the investors buy the homes, the neighborhood will be a nicer place to live. Did you ever notice that Dumbo liberals think gentrification is a bad word? You know, gentrification, where an investor or a group of investors takes a beat-up, run-down neighborhood with boarded-up houses, buys them, and makes them beautiful? Did you ever wonder why cities like Philadelphia are so ugly and run down? Well, when the government is anti-gentrification and anti-landlord, it makes most investors look elsewhere. So why do governments get involved? So the government can keep the neighborhoods down and out and continue to get federal funding to do so. So they have these down and out neighborhoods, and they get federal funding because the neighborhoods are down and out, and if the neighborhoods ever came back, they would turn off the federal funding. So if you want to find out what neighborhoods you should invest in while keeping the government off your back, I'm going to tell you right, listen to this commercial. because I'm going to tell you how to make more money and how to invest in real estate.
Okay, so you've thought about investing in real estate, houses, apartment buildings, properties, but don't really know where to start? Well, what if you could very easily learn how to gain strategies to use other people's money to buy and sell houses in the Philadelphia area? If you could learn and network with successful area real estate investors and how to produce monthly income on rental properties without headaches, that place is Investor Schooling. With Investor Schooling, you'll learn from two Philadelphia area rockstar real estate investors, Phil Falcone and Larry Steinhouse, about how to buy and sell properties the easy way and teach you basic and advanced techniques to help you make money in real estate. You can attend Investor Schooling in person or online visual classes 8 times a month. You can and will learn how to make money in real estate. Call for free information and get a complimentary pass to one of these classes. But don't delay, as these complimentary passes are limited. Call the number on your screen now or visit investorschooling.com. investorschooling.com.
Welcome back to Money Chat Now. I'm your host, Larry Steinhouse, and of course, if you'd like more information on Investor Schooling, you can go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829, 866-424-2829. Jane, watching online, she's on fire. I got her fired up this morning. She's got all these questions, and it's amazing. I mean, I'm just going to read the last one because she's got so many of them. So she says, hey, Biden, could you acknowledge the spike in homicides since you've taken office? I love it. That's a great one. Keep it up. All right. So let's talk about the futures update. Right now, the Dow is down 288 points. The S&P is down 68 points. And the NASDAQ, what the heck, NASDAQ, is down 316 points. I don't know, man. This is crazy. We talked about Biden blunders and how he's just such an idiot. I don't even know what to say. We talked about Google tracking you. We talked about 5G and airlines possibly making airplanes crash. We talked about IBM's earnings and Cincinnati basically saying, hey, we love socialism. All right, coming up today is today's picks and plays. But first, by the way, did you guys hit that share button yet? Did you hit that like button? Hey, Jane, did you hit that share button yet? Come on, if you're going to answer all these questions, let people know what they are, hit that share button. Let everybody know what great stocks plays are coming up by sharing this information, and you can share on your page or in groups that you feel will benefit from this information. Hey, you can leave comments on Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn, and even if you're watching a repeat, I also will be able to see them as well. Hey, if you're listening on WWDB Radio, set one of your presets to this channel and listen every day at 7:30 for all you need to know about the politics behind the stock market. All right, let's talk about what's going on and what's going to happen. So I'm going to tell you the market is totally insane right now, and frankly, I'm confused and kind of worried, to be honest with you, too. Look, to make it easier, I want you guys to practice this for a while. Go, oh, no, followed by, yes, followed by, oh, no, followed by, yes. That's basically what's going to happen over the next week. This week is going to be insane. All right, we still have some important earnings this week, and hopefully that will stop this crazy ride. So today's big earnings will be American Express before the bell. They may have already announced. Then we have GE and Microsoft and J&J after the bell. Look, we need some good numbers. The only thing that's going to get Wall Street moving again is some good numbers. You know, tomorrow we also have Tesla, AT&T, and Boeing. So where are the plays? Look, I'm going to tell you right now, let's talk about some stocks that you might want to be in. So I would stick with companies that aren't going anywhere and continue to have growth. Companies like Meta and Apple are always on the top of my list. J&J is also a company that I like and has a great dividend of 2.5%. The stock is definitely a keeper for a long term, and AT&T is also a good one for the same reasons. And of course, if you like stock options, these are great companies for selling covered calls because the stock doesn't move much, and you're going to make some free money. You know, yesterday also, even Macy's was an unexpected winner of the stock market when the stock jumped 4%, and that surprised me. Who would have thought it? Retail is making a comeback, and I don't know. Many retailers are actually basically just adjusting their prices for inflation, and the customers are okay with it, at least for now. Hey, Biden, do you think inflation is a political liability ahead of the midterms? Oh, did I just hear him call me a stupid son of a bitch? I don't know, maybe he did. Okay, let's talk about crypto and what's going on in crypto. Wow, I don't know, man. Crypto might be climbing back. and it moved up a little bit yesterday. I got to tell you, it's a weird tug of war as the hoodlers give up some positions as they get frustrated and bored with the crypto, and then they got the crypto miners who are having trouble making money at these prices. Look, I don't really know which direction crypto is going, but I do know that there's money to be made here. BITO, B-I-T-O, is an ETF, and Coinbase are both plays as the crypto market recovers. So I like Coinbase. I also own a few hundred shares of Coinbase, and I'm waiting for it to go back over 200, and I'm going to sell some covered calls on it and see if I can make some money on it. It's all free money. And by the way, if you don't know how to make free money using covered calls, you need to learn by going to investor schooling. So gold and silver are also in a holding pattern, and I believe these are still good plays. Look, you can invest in the metal directly or just buy some ETFs and invest in it as well. So just take a look at some of the ETFs, maybe like something like SLV. All right, the Treasury bond is hovering still about 1.8%, and I still see this moving down one last time before the raise in lending interest rates. Look, I really hope this happens soon because, once again, it's going to boost the market. So maybe we'll get lucky and the interest rate will move down a little bit, but I know I'm getting worried. Look, we also have a slew of new listeners. By the way, I'm noticing the listener count and the viewer count is moving up, and I want to thank you all for watching. By the way, did you pre-order my new book yet? Go to barnesandnoble.com and pre-order the book. It's called Money Hacks by Larry Steinhouse. And of course, I promise you're going to learn something from that book. That book is filled with stuff. I don't think there's ever been a book written like it, filled with financial information. So if you want to take a look and definitely enjoy it. And by the way, my accountant says it might even be tax deductible. So you definitely want to take a look at it, and you definitely want to read it. All right, hey, once again, I want to thank all the listeners on WWDB Radio in Philadelphia, and I want to thank you for your continued support. If you're enjoying this show, please reach out and let us know. You can leave comments on the WWDB fan page on Facebook, and of course, you can look for Money Chat Now on Facebook as well. My name is Larry Steinhouse. I am the host of Money Chat Now, and I am also the CEO of Investor Schooling. Hey, from time to time, I own some of the assets and options discussed in this show, and the opinions discussed in this show is solely mine, and no one has asked me to discuss them. And you have an awesome, profitable day.